Good Monday morning. It's good to see you all. I know you had a great weekend. Members will please come to the floor. Members, please come to the floor and take your seats. Members will please come to the floor. The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you please ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call. I'm pausing just for a minute to allow the Rules Committee to make their way to the chamber. But we're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Members, I'll give you a heads up this morning. Immediately after the pastor speaks, we will have a special morning order. So I encourage members to be present for the special morning order. We will lock the doors in just a moment. Not yet, doorkeepers. We will lock the doors, but I will unlock them for some members who may have not been able to enter the chamber for the special morning order. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machine. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? Members, I'm not going to ask you to stand, but I'll just let you know that certainly as your hearts and your prayers go out to the Riley family, we will have a special morning order to speak to the family right after the pastor brings his remarks. And I've asked the pastor certainly to remember that family, that beautiful young lady's life when he prays. So with that, we will begin, as is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 135th House District, Representative Beth Camp, Representative Chair Lady Beth Camp.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, members. I am honored here today to introduce my friend, Billy Smith. Billy Smith is the pastor at Christ Chapel Community Church, located in Zebulon, Georgia, and he has been there for 20 years. He is the founder of the church. Christ Chapel has 6 locations in Zebulon, Hamilton, Hampton, Fayetteville, the Pavilion, and Barnesville. I can assure you that Scott Hilton knows where none of those places are, but I can assure you they're wonderful places to be. Billy Smith has been married to his lovely wife Tina for 28 years, and they have 4 children, Cole, Lainey, Max, and Ruby, and Max is joining us today. I just wanted to speak a little bit about Billy Smith. A quote comes to mind: "A friend is one who overlooks your broken fence and admires your flowers anyway." At Christ Chapel, there's a big sign on the wall. It's lit up, it's beautiful, and it says, "Saved people serve people." I think that is probably one of the greatest things I do love about Christ Chapel is their dedication to serving the community and loving people where they are and accepting people when they come in. Quite honestly, I can't think of a more welcoming environment to come to on any Sunday morning. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Pastor Billy Smith.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, sir. Absolutely. Good morning. Thank you, Representative Camp, for those kind words, Mr. Speaker. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll be brief with my remarks today. You've probably heard your pastor say that before too, but I mean it. I'll be brief. I want to talk to you just for a short few minutes in the way of a devotion about 4 O's, the letter O in the alphabet: opportunities, opposition, obedience, and outcomes. Opportunities, opposition, obedience, and outcomes. In the Old Testament, there's a biblical character named Nehemiah. He had been exiled from his home after a war, and the walls of his town that he lived in and he loved, Jerusalem, had been burned and broken, and they were laying on the ground. He got this news, and he was compelled to go back and help organize. He was a great leader, organize the effort to rebuild that wall. In Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4, it says, "When Nehemiah heard that the walls of Jerusalem were still broken down, after a half century of the completion of the rebuilding of the temple, he sat down and he wept." Most of us have something in our life that we're so passionate about that it makes us cry or it makes us laugh. It gets us up every day and it gets our motor running. And those are opportunities that each of us will have in life. One thing about opportunities, you'll have sometimes more in life than you know what to do with. There's a biblical term concerning opportunities I think it's important for us to understand. It's called the ability to discern. Discern is like cognitive, like I have a mind to make choices, but there's a spiritual component about that also, about being led. And everybody in this room, you have opportunities every day. We have to decide which one of those are from God and which one of those are just good opportunities that maybe we should pass on. Nehemiah could not pass on the opportunity to go home and rebuild the walls. He saw the opportunity and he seized it. Unfortunately, opportunities has a companion. Every time there's an opportunity, there's always opposition. I'm sure you're aware of that. When you have an opportunity and you want to do something great, you want to make a difference, opposition always shows up. Even the Apostle Paul in the New Testament, 1 Corinthians 16 and 8, it says that I'm going to stay on here in Ephesus. He was pastoring and preaching in Ephesus because a great door of effective work has opened for me. I have an opportunity. But then he goes on to say, but there will be many here who oppose me. And every time there's an opportunity in life, there will always be opposition. Nehemiah goes back to Jerusalem, gets permission from the king that he is serving to go home. And he gets back there and he meets with opposition. A guy named Tobiah, another guy named Sanballat. And they had friends, cronies, bullies that wanted to intimidate the workers and the force that he had gathered to rebuild those walls. I just want to remind you that opportunities come, and when you seize them, when you take advantage of them, there will always be opposition. The other O is obedience. When opposition comes, we have to decide if we're going to stand firm in our stance. Do we have grit, tenacity? Are we consistent? Will we stay with it? What I find in Scripture is from Genesis to Revelation, there are men and women in the Bible who obeyed God. And every time they obey God, it seems to be a systematic structure in Scripture that blessing follows obedience. And unfortunately, cursing and hopelessness and lack of joy follow us when we don't obey God. We have to decide after we had this great opportunity, we experience opposition, will we remain obedient in the call, in the opportunity that God has given us. The fourth O is outcomes. I've learned a long time ago I don't always control outcomes. I wish I did. I do control the opportunities that I take. I control my attitude in my heart with opposition and how I handle that. I control whether or not I'll remain obedient to that opportunity or that call. But I've learned that God is responsible for all outcomes. I've worked hard a few times and still failed. I haven't worked as hard as other times and had great success in life. Outcomes really belong to God. Nehemiah went back, organized, used his leadership skills, rebuilt the wall. And the Bible says he rebuilt those walls in 52 days, him and his partners in that passage of time to make that wall go up and be able to defend their city. 52 days. If Guinness World Records had been around, they'd have went over there and made note of it. I can't believe this happened so quick. Now, God controlled that outcome. But there are other areas in our lives where we have made plans and we have worked hard and it didn't turn out the way that we hoped. So we leave that in the hands of God. I start where I'm at, I use what I have, and I do what I can, and I let God do the things I can't do. I hope the 4 O's today will help you. Opportunities, opposition, obedience, and outcomes. Would you stand today and let's go to the Lord in prayer? We do want to remember the young lady that lost her life, Miss Lakin Riley. Our hearts are heavy for that family today. I'd also like to remember Trooper Redner, who lost his life last week working an accident scene. It's been a hard week for Georgia, and God still loves us. He still wants to take care of us. Father, I ask you today for wisdom and discernment and understanding. Help me to realize that all my opportunities come from you. You're a good and generous and gracious God. When those opportunities come with opposition, help me to know how to handle that and keep my eyes fixed on you. Give us all a God-sized courage today to obey and walk obedience out. We celebrate today, God, the outcomes, no matter what they are. Thank you for loving us, caring for us, and thank you, God, for being our biggest cheerleader. You're smiling over us today. Would you bless what happens in this room today? I pray those things in the wonderful name of Christ. Amen. Let's pledge allegiance this morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Billy, for those 4 O's. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. And that'll be primarily for members to come back into the chamber. We will have a special morning order. Chairman Wiedauer, are you ready? Are you ready? Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors? Thank you, Pastor, for mentioning Lakin Riley. I'm going to ask all members to please stand. We will have a special morning order, a remembrance this morning for Ms. Lakin Riley. Chairman Wiedauer and friends, if you would like to join the chairman at the podium, you're welcome. Chairman Wiedauer is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I'm going to ask you for some grace. I typically pride myself in keeping composure when speaking from the well, and I acknowledge today that I may fail. Right now I stand here representing a district, a city, a university that is experiencing a wide array of emotions, from grief to anger and everything in between. Wyatt Banks and Lakin Riley. To the rest of the state, these may just be two names heard on the news, but to my community, they're a son and a daughter, a friend and a sibling, a sorority sister and fraternity brother, a classmate and fellow dog. While these two situations are woven together by grief and a shared community, they're unique in the shortcomings and failures that highlight for this body and for all elected officials. It's evident there's work to be done. And there will be time for that. There will be time for discourse, legislation, and accountability, but that is not today. I believe we all can agree right now is the time for honoring these two beautiful young lives robbed of their bright future. Wyatt Banks was a freshman and member of Kappa Sigma fraternity. He was a political science major whose future may have crossed paths with any one of us in this room. He took academics seriously, was a member of the Terry College of Business and Moorhead Honors College. One of his fraternity brothers stated Wyatt diligently excelled in academics as a member of Moorhead Honors College and was always eager to help his friends in school whenever they needed it. Someone else said he had a radiant smile and contagious laughter. Wyatt's positive impact on his friends and family is evident. I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence to honor Wyatt Banks and the light he brought to those around him. Lakin Riley. Lakin was 22, a nursing student, a runner, a member of Alpha Chi Omega sorority, and a Dean's List student. Lakin's roommate said she never met a stranger, and she exuded kindness and acceptance to anyone she met. Her family said she's an amazing daughter, sister, friend, and overall person, and will be missed every day. It is evident that Lakin's life was spent in laughter and love. I would like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence to honor Lakin Riley and the light she brought to those around her. I know that several of us in this room have sons and daughters who recently attended or graduated from the University of Georgia. So this tragedy hits close to home, and honestly, I can't begin to fathom the heartbreak these two families are navigating. And I hope you'll join me in covering them with prayers in the weeks to come. But for every single person in this chamber, hug your loved one. Call them, check on them, cherish them. Don't let busyness be the thief of the precious time we have left together. Life is too short. I will leave you with this. My district, my community, and the University of Georgia are all resilient and strong. When times get tough, we come together and lean on one another, just like our student body is doing today as they gather on campus for a vigil in their memory. While time will continue, we'll never forget the precious names, Wyatt Banks and Lakin Riley. If you could join me in one final moment of silence. God rest your soul. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. 2 young lives ended way too soon. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, you may join the chaplain in the South Ante room to greet him and show your appreciation for him being with us today. Our doctor of the day today is brought to us by Representative Lehman Franklin from down in Statesboro, and she's a dear friend, Dr. Michelle Zena, who's a pediatrician who's dedicated to helping folks from all walks of life. So tell Dr. Zena how much we appreciate her when you go by and see her. She's a wonderful physician, but more importantly, she's a wonderful person. Thank you, Dr. Zena. Thank you, Representative Franklin. Chair recognizes Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Tarvin.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. Mr. Speaker, if you'll indulge me, I picked this last week to say this morning, and I started not to use it, but then I received such a blessing from it.
Gentlemen, we'll suspend just for a moment. I want the members to hear it.
As I said, I chose this quote this morning, last week for this morning, and I started not to use it, but after I went over it this weekend, it was such a blessing to me. And the meaning in it is profound. I will tell you it's by Helen Keller. Death is no more than passing from one room to another. But for me, it's a little different, you know. In that other room, I will be able to see.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is profound and appropriate. Is there an objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there an objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Illustration of the 104th Moose Fallowby establishes the order of business during the first part of the period unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading and reference of House bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions, first reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions, morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 858 by Representative Bell, the 75th, a bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to driver's licenses.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 1372 by Representative Smith, the 138th, a bill being titled an act to provide a new charter for the town of Pine Mountain.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1373 by Representative Rhodes, the 124th, and Crowe, the 118th, a bill being titled an act to amend an act creating a board of commissioners for Putnam County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1374 by Representative Campbell, the 35th, Ridley, the 22nd, Earhart, the 36th, and Seaball, the 34th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to reincorporate and provide a new charter for the city of Ackworth.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1375 by Representative Neal, the 79th, Douglas, the 78th, Tarver, the 2nd, Horner, the 3rd, Ridley, the 22nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 4883 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1376 by Representative Smith, the 18th, Seaball, the 34th, Scoggins, the 14th, and Ridley, the 6th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2, Title 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 1377 by Representative Holcomb of the 81st, Beverly, the 143rd, Parkland, the 107th, Hughley, the 141st, Iowa, the 50th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 31 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to health.
Health.
House Bill 1378 by Representative Burchett of the 176th, Corbett of the 174th, and Draper of the 90th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 4286 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to special license plates.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 1379 by Representative Buckner of the 137th and Hagan of the 156th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to state flag, seal, and other symbols.
State properties.
House Bill 1380 by Representative Muggle of the 105th, Reeves of the 99th, Okoye of the 102nd, Marin of the 96th, Clark of the 100th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 1384 by Representative Cox of the 28th, Hilton of the 48th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dubnik of the 29th, Townsend of the 179th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 7 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to sick personnel, personal, and maternity leave.
Education.
House Bill 1385 by Representative Moptahan of the 17th, Camp of the 135th, New of the 64th, Ridley the 22nd, Chastain of the 7th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 33 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to kinds of insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 1386 by Representative Adesanya of the 43rd, Willis the 55th, Draper the 90th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 393.3 of the official code of Georgia annotated related to prohibited use of purchaser's credit card.
Banks and banking.
House Bill 1387 by Representative Adesanya of the 43rd, Bruce of the 61st, O'Lallier of the 59th, Cannon of the 58th, Bazemore of the 69th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 1388 by Representative Fry of the 122nd, Roman of the 97th, Cannon of the 58th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to driver's licenses.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 1389 by Representative Thomas, the 65th. A bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 4, Title 38 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to veterans' benefits.
Appropriations.
House Bill 1390 by Representative Bell, the 75th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 1612.191 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to possession, manufacture, and distribution or sale of low THC oil and penalties.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1391 by Representative Bell, the 75th, and Sharper, the 177th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the Department of Community Affairs.
State Planning and Community Affairs.
House Bill 1392 by Representative Bell, the 75th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 33.1 and 24 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance requirements for transportation network companies.
Insurance.
House Bill 1393 by Representative Bell, the 75th, and Sharper, the 177th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 21A.10 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of early care and education programs.
Education.
House Bill 1394 by Representative Bell of the 75th and Jackson of the 68th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to revenue and taxation.
Ways and
House
Means.
Bill 1395 by Representative Bell of the 75th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 21 and Title 50 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to state court claims.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1396 by Representative Bell of the 75th, McLean of the 109th, Sharp of the 177th, and Holly of the 116th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 60, Chapter 2, and Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to competencies and core curriculum.
Education.
House Bill 1397 by Representative Burchett of the 176th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 44 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to water rights.
Natural Resources and Environment.
House Bill 1398 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Sharper of the 177th, Mitchell of the 88th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 3, Chapter 1 and Title 40 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to rideshare network services.
Motor Vehicles.
House Resolution 1227 by Representative Stinson of the 150th and Chokus of the 151st. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. George R. Usner and dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1228 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Cannon of the 172nd, Bonner of the 73rd, Gladney of the 130th, Hitchens of the 161st. A resolution honoring the life of Corporal Dewey E. Ruiz, Jr. and dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation. Mr. Clerk, suspend just for a minute. Members, we can turn it down just a notch. I'd be very grateful. Thank you. Continue, Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 1229 by Representative Gladney, the 130th, Bonner of the 73rd, Gamble the 15th, Mathiak the 74th, Cannon the 172nd, and others. A resolution urging the United States Department of Veteran Affairs to provide for additional resources.
Defense and Veterans Affairs.
House Resolution 1230 by Representative Campbell, the 35th, Olalier, the 59th, Gilliard, the 162nd, and Howard of the 129th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize the General Assembly to provide by law.
Rules.
House Resolution 1231 by Representative Newton, the 127th, Hatchett of the 155th, Knight of the 134th, Taylor of the 173rd, Buckner of the 137th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Maternal, Prenatal, and Pediatric Care Access and Funding.
Health.
House Resolution 1232 by Representative Campbell, 35th, Beverly, and 143rd, Stone of the 40th, Mitchell, the 88th. A resolution urging the state of Georgia to take swift actions, including enabling legislation.
Health.
House Resolution 1250 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Stevens of the 164th, Petrie of the 166th, Hitchens of the 161st, Westbrook of the 163rd. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Pete Lykakis and dedicating a road in his memory.
A good man. Transportation.
House Resolution 1251 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Stevens of the 164th, Jackson of the 165th, and Westbrook of the 163rd. A resolution honoring the life of Mrs. Frances Bright Johnson and dedicating an interchange in her memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1252 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Sharper of the 177th, and Mitchell of the 88th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on reducing Georgia's dependence on BRICS states.
Economic Development and Tourism.
House Resolution 1253 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Stevens of the 164th, Jackson of the 165th, and Westbrook of the 163rd. A resolution honoring the lives of Reverend Dr. Jose L. Williams and Representative Juanita T. Williams and dedicating an interchange in their memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1254 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Hutchinson of the 160th, Reese of the 140th, and Holly of the 116th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Georgia so as to authorize the General Assembly.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Resolution 1255 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Sharper of the 177th, and Mitchell of the 88th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on combating human trafficking and major transportation errors.
Transportation.
Senate Bill 376 by Senator Tillery of the 19th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Burns of the 23rd, Payne of the 54th, Strickland of the 17th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 11 and Title 15 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to juvenile code.
Juvenile justice.
Senate Bill 387 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Hatch of the 50th, Payne of the 54th, Robertson of the 29th, Jackson of the 41st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to identification cards for persons without driver's licenses.
Juvenile justice.
Senate Bill 401 by Senators Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Payne of the 54th, Kennedy of the 18th, Jackson of the 41st, Robertson of the 29th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 11 and Title 15 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to juvenile code.
Juvenile justice.
Senate Bill 427 by Senator Tillery of the 19th, Cecily of the 37th, Burns of the 23rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 10 and 26 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to commerce and trade.
Small business development.
Senate Bill 483 by Senator Hatchett of the 50th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Tillery of the 19th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 39 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to minors.
Juvenile justice.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 1346 by Representative Barton of the 5th and Ridley of the 6th. A bill to repeal an act creating the Kasawati Regional Water and Sewage Authority. House Bill 1347 by Representative Stinson of the 150th. A bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Magistrate Court of Taylor County. House Bill 1348 by Representative Reese of the 140th, Hughley of the 141st, Smith of the 138th, and Buckner of the 137th. A bill relating to redevelopment powers. House Bill 1349 by Representative Taylor of the 173rd, Hitchens of the 161st, Green of the 154th, and Reeves of the 99th. A bill relating to the Attorney General. House Bill 1350 by Representative Reese of the 140th, Westbrook of the 163rd, Olallier of the 59th, Townsend of the 179th, and Paris of the 142nd. A bill relating to compulsory attendance for students in elementary and secondary education. House Bill 1351 by Representative Glaze of the 67th, Paris of the 142nd, Gilliard of the 162nd, Douglas of the 78th, Vance of the 133rd, and others. A bill relating to program weights and funding requirements under the Quality Basic Education Act. House Bill 1352 by Representative Glaze of the 67th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Bennett of the 94th, Clark of the 108th, Davis of the 87th, and others. A bill relating to prescription drugs. House Bill 1353 by Representative Bell of the 75th, McGall of the 105th, Clark of the 108th, Beverly of the 143rd, Park of the 107th, and others. A bill relating to landlord and tenant. House Bill 1354 by Representative McGall of the 105th, Clark of the 108th, Westbrook of the 163rd, and Olowitz of the 42nd, Hagan of the 156th. A bill relating to exemptions for sales and use taxes. House Bill 1355 by Representative McGall of the 105th, Stevens of the 164th, Stoner of the 40th, Marin of the 96th, and Olowitz of the 42nd, and others. A bill relating to general provisions regarding specific business and occupation taxes. House Bill 1356 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Earhart of the 36th, Ballard of the 147th. A bill relating to dietitians. House Bill 1357 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Hagan of the 156th, Campbell of the 171st. A bill relating to the imposition rate, computation, and exemptions of credits from state income taxes. House Bill 1358 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Jones of the 47th, Carson of the 46th, Martin of the 49th, Ridley of the 22nd, and others. A bill relating to conservation of natural resources, highways, bridges, ferries, local government, motor vehicles and traffic, public officers and employees, revenue and taxation, and state government. House Bill 1359 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, Rhodes of the 124th, Kelly of the 16th, Daniel of the 117th, Petrie of the 166th, and others. A bill relating to miscellaneous local administrative provisions. House Bill 1360 by Representative Cummings of the 39th, Smith of the 18th, McGall of the 105th, Hitchens of the 161st, Stoner of the 40th. A bill relating to schedules, offenses, and penalties regarding controlled substances. House Bill 1364 by Representative Momptahan of the 17th, Jaspers of the 11th, Ballinger of the 23rd, Bonner of the 73rd, and Horner of the 3rd. A bill relating to general provisions regarding liability of owners and occupiers of lands. House Bill 1365 by Representative Horner of the 3rd, Jaspers of the 11th, Cox of the 28th, Donahue of the 31st. A bill relating to minors. House Bill 1366 by Representative Taylor of the 92nd, Beverly of the 143rd, Glaze of the 67th, Jackson of the 165th, Carpenter of the 4th, and others. A bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 1367 by Representative Lupton of the 83rd, Holcomb of the 81st, Lamb of the 98th, Hagan of the 156th, Dubnick of the 29th. A bill relating to victim compensation. House Bill 1368 by Representative Sharper of the 177th, Mitchell of the 88th, Green of the 154th, Mathiek of the 74th, Prince of the 132nd, and others, a bill relating to general provisions, House Bill 1369, by Representative Thomas of the 21st and Powell of the 33rd, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic, House Bill 1370, by Representative Deloach of the 167th, a bill relating to primaries and elections, House Bill 1371, by Representative Burchett of the 176th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding liability of owners and occupiers of land, House Bill 1381, by Representative Evans of the 89th ballot of the 147th, a bill relating to certified professional personnel, House Bill 1382, by Representative Evans of the 89th, a bill relating to state purchasing, House Bill 1383, by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Hitchens of the 161st, Gunter of the 8th, Crow of the 118th, Smith of the 18th, and others, a bill relating to arrest by law enforcement officers, House Resolution 1214, by Representative Reese of the 140th, Hughley of the 141st, Smith of the 138th, and Buckner of the 137th, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Affordability and Accessibility to Georgia's legitimization process, House Resolution 1215, by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Chastain of the 7th, Hatchett of the 155th, Burns of the 159th, Powell of the 33rd, and others, a resolution honoring the life of the Honorable David E. Ralston, dedicating an interstate connector and a bridge in his memory. Senate Bill 375, by Senator Strickland of the 17th, Jackson of the 41st, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Watson of the 1st, and Payne of the 54th, a bill relating to the Behavioral Health Coordinating Council membership, meetings, and obligations. Senate Bill 385, by Senator Williams of the 25th, Payne of the 54th, Brass of the 28th, and Navarrete of the 31st, Robertson of the 29th, and others, a bill relating to funding, donations, property, and scholarships with respect to Georgia Military College. Senate Bill 398, by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Robertson of the 29th, Walker the 3rd of the 20th, Watson of the 1st, Anderson of the 24th, and others, a bill relating to the Georgia Joint Defense Commission. Senate Bill 482, by Senator Sims of the 12th, Goodman of the 8th, Estevez of the 6th, Butler of the 55th, and Parent of the 42nd, a bill to amend an act to revise and restate the law relating to Sumter County Board of Education and School Superintendent, through second readers.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will, maybe not. I bet just one or two folks here might be interested in what the clerk's going to say. Turn it down or take it outside to the anterooms, whatever you'd like to do. Mr. Clerk, reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Robert Dickey, the 145th District Chairman of the Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs has had under its consideration following the bills of the House. Instruct committee to report the same back with the following recommendations. House Bill 583 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1206 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Robert Dickey, the 145th District Chairman. Representative Chris Irwin, the 32nd District Chairman of Committee on Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Education has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. Has instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 1027 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chris Irwin of the 32nd District Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration the following bills of the House and Senate. This instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1298 do pass. House Bill 1313 do pass. House Bill 1316 do pass. House Bill 1327 do pass. House Bill 1337 do pass. Senate Bill 467 do pass by substitute. Senate Bill 468 do pass. Senate Bill 439 do pass. House Bill 979 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District Chairman. Representative Gunner of the 8th District Chairman on Committee on Judiciary submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary has had under its consideration the following bills and resolutions of the House. Instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 368 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1153 do pass. House Bill 1244 do not pass. House Bill 1288 do pass. House Bill 1292 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1295 do not pass. House Resolution 302 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1017 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1184 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1255 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gunner, the 8th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
We'll move on to the local calendar. One bill in the local calendar relates to homestead exemption and requires a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. One bill in the local calendar is also an agree-disagree. And having received the requisite number of signatures required, the House delegation wishes to agree to the Senate substitute to the bill. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 1298 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Brooks County. House Bill 1313 by Representative Bernal of the 77th, Clayton County. House Bill 1316 by Representative Williams of the 148th, City of Cordele. House Bill 1327 by Representative Seaball, 34th, City of Marietta. House Bill 1337 by Representative Cummings of the 39th, City of Mableton. Senate Bill 467 by substitute by Senator Williams of the 25th, Baldwin County. Senate Bill 468 by Senator Williams of the 25th, Baldwin County. Senate Bill 439 by Senator Estevez of the 6th, City of Atlanta. House Bill 979 is substituted by the Senate, Bartow County.
Is there an objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there an objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of the local calendar, yeas are 169 and nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, if you'll please take your seats. We're moving on to morning orders. We have a special invite resolution this morning. And I'm going to recognize Chairman Ron Stevens. Chairman Ron Stevens. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution? Will you read the caption to the resolution?
House Resolution 1189 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, Petrie, the 166th, Hitchens, the 161st, Franklin of the 160th, and Westbrook of the 163rd. A resolution commending Hyundai Motor Group's dedication to the state of Georgia and recognizing February 26, 2024 as Hyundai Day at the state capitol.
Chairman Stevens will speak to the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I'm honored to bring you the Hyundai Day here at the Capitol, and we have the big dog, if you will. And typically we don't do this in the House of Representatives, but I just wanted to mention what this project means. We had four counties that got together and worked on this project: Bullock, Bryan, Chatham, and Effingham counties. This project represents 12 times the size of any project that we've ever done in the state of Georgia. 12 times. When we're looking at our budget this year, this represents more than 25% of the state's budget this year for the total investment. This is big stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome the head of the Hyundai Motor Group, Jose Munoz. Please.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you very much. What an honor. Good morning, everybody. So, Governor and First Lady Kemp, Speaker Burns, Chairman Stevens, leaders from Bryan, Chatham, Effingham, and Bullock counties, Commissioner Wilson, honorable members of the Georgia House of Representatives, on behalf of Hyundai, it is my great pleasure to be here today. Thank you for the resolution proclaiming today in the great state of Georgia as Hyundai Day. We're truly honored. We're so proud to call the Peach State home. Our new meta plant in Savannah will transform the lives of thousands of hard-working women and men in Georgia for decades to come. I've opened a lot of plants in a lot of countries. I've never seen anything like our new meta plant. Hyundai Motor Group Meta Plant America is more than a production site. It is a campus for the future of mobility. Together with our partners, we are investing $12.6 billion in an assembly plant and 2 battery joint ventures. This operation will create tens of thousands of high-paying American jobs for the people of Georgia and generate billions in economic impact every year. Today, I'm pleased to announce that because of the great support we have received from you all, our new Meta plant will start producing cars ahead of schedule. We are hiring, thank you. Thank you. We're hiring and training talented and hardworking Georgians at a very fast clip in order to start production in the 4th quarter this year. Starting production in Q4 ensures we will open the entire campus by our target of Q1 2025. Thanks to the Governor, Pat, and Tripp, and the team in Savannah, we are several months ahead of schedule. This reinforces what the world already knows, that Georgia is a great place to do business and is establishing itself as an EV production hub. You can tell your constituents that our investments in EVs are creating American jobs and incredible opportunities for the people of Georgia. Please have a look at some of our EVs outside, as well as our hydrogen-powered commercial vehicles. And let me know when you're ready for a test drive. Thank you again for the Hyundai Day resolution and for your continued support. God bless you. God bless Georgia. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Nice.
Jose, thank you. Thank you for your team that's here. What a great partnership that you have, not just with Governor Kemp and the Senate, but the members of this House have supported this project every step of the way, and they'll continue to do that. Transformational for Southeast Georgia and for Georgia. We're a great place in which to do business, and your company is a great company to do business with. Thank you for Hyundai and everything y'all have done, and thank you for your support for lots of great opportunities you're already supporting in Georgia, and we appreciate that as well. Thank you so much. We're moving on to morning orders. We have number of morning orders to recognize some great people in the gallery and for some other purposes. So I'm going to ask the members to do your very best to hold it, accomplish your goal, but keep it just as short as you can. Representative Gaines and the Athens delegation is recognized for a morning order. Suspend just for a minute. Members, we have some notable recognitions about to occur from a number of members from all over this state, so I hope you'll give the folks in the well your attention. Representative Gaines is recognized in the Athens delegation.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as y'all already heard this morning from Chairman Wiedauer, the tough week we've had on campus, but what we want to do today is honor some great University of Georgia students. As y'all see the soccer balls, we have the University of Georgia women's soccer team here today. And y'all going to give them a round of applause. Woo! They're standing there in the back. And we were going to bring down their SEC championship trophy, but the thing is so heavy that we left it to the coach there to bring that down. But I want to tell y'all briefly about our women's soccer team at the University of Georgia. 13-4-6 record this year, ranked number 13 in the country. Program record 5 postseason wins. Coach McAlpine has 200 career wins. The program hit their 300th career win this year. Have All-Americans, All-SEC drafted players. And then again, an SEC championship, the first in program history. So certainly we're so proud of the University of Georgia women's soccer team. Want to congratulate you all on just an incredible season, and certainly it's an honor to represent the University of Georgia in Athens along with these fellows up here. So congratulations, and go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Congratulations. Student athletes is nothing better. Congratulations, ladies. I know y'all are proud. We are proud of you. Representative Reese, Representative Bennett, Representative Derek Jackson, Representative Mitchell, and Representative Chairman Prince are recognized for a morning order. Representative Reese. Yeah, y'all can have a seat, and we'll call you back up in just a moment. Chair Lady Cooper is recognized for a morning order. I'm sorry, I thought you were down front. My bad. Chair Lady Cooper, no, I apologize. I thought you were right down there. My bad. Chair Lady Cooper is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I hope everybody will help me in just a minute and recognize the Hemophilia of Georgia's group that are gathered in the gallery today. If you're still here, would you stand out to people with the Hemophilia group? I think we have missed them, but Hemophilia is a nonprofit organization that provides services to individuals who have an inherited bleeding disorder, which can be a very life-threatening disorder. And they are very good in helping with medications, which include blood clotting medications and infusion training and education programs. In fact, when you gave blood and when you were encouraged to give blood, one of those lives you may have saved would be somebody with hemophilia and had an incident where they were injured and they couldn't stop them bleeding. So These individuals help over 2,000 people across our state. It's a very important group, and I appreciate the fact that they are with us today. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield the well and thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Representative Bazemore for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And good morning, everyone. I rise this morning to acknowledge some individuals. We are all in favor of literacy, so let me tell you a little bit about this person. Recognizing and commending Stan Tucker, and for other purposes. Stan Tucker is on a mission to inspire the next generation of kind storytellers, and he is a graduate of Kennesaw State University with a degree in early childhood education. And after a brief time in the classroom, he started the nonprofit Leap for Literacy and the Share Your Story writing program. And since its inception, the Leap for Literacy has inspired thousands of acts of kindness. I'm sorry, have the light. But if you look up on the screen, you will see who I'm so proud of, one of the illustrators of the book, my granddaughter in the middle, Brooklyn Bazemore, and we have the author of the book here also. And we have Mr. Stan Tucker, so we have Jaden Patel. And if you all would stand up. And so my granddaughter stays in the Speaker Pro Tem's district. She is her. So you can come to the Anna Room if you want to take pictures or order the book on Amazon.
Well, thank you, Representative Bazemore. We are so proud of your granddaughter, and I am honored to have her live in my district. The chair recognizes Representative Maynor for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My Black History celebration encompasses Georgia's history, the neighborhood I grew up in, and my passion that all families should have access to the education they choose for their child. Charlene Hunter Galt is a Black history pioneer and legend. She is a testament to resilience, courage, and the indomitable spirit of the Black community. She will be 82 years old tomorrow and just as vibrant, beautiful, and youthful as she was when she attended the historic Henry McNeil Turner High School in my district. She grew up in the same community as me, Mosley Park, Hunter Hills community, where Atlanta Black leaders like Herman J. Russell rallied to help pay her legal defense to desegregate the University System of Georgia at their UGA campus. Charlene Hunter and Hamilton Holmes were the first African American students to enroll in 1961. Please stand and let's welcome Ms. Charlene Hunter Galt.
The chair recognizes Representative Stinson for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I, along with other members, proudly stand to recognize Butler Masonic Lodge number 226 as they are celebrating their 120th anniversary. We're going to ask if they please stand. Butler Lodge number 226 is dedicated to serving the Taylor County community. Their service efforts consist of awarding scholarships to graduating seniors, supporting the local school system, and helping veterans and senior citizens. Members of the House, please join me in welcoming Butler Lodge number 226 and the Free Run Lodge to their state capitol, celebrating 120 years. Thank you. And you can now go downstairs for your picture with the governor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Schofield for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I recognize today the best city in the state of Georgia, which is the city of East Point. Today is East Point Day at the Capitol. I see my mayor and council, Mayor Dina Holiday Ingram, and our council member Sharpshire. Listen, thank you for being here. Can everybody stand up and welcome the greatest city? There's no point like East Point. East Point in the house. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Caucus Chair Mitchell for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're any members who have any affiliation whatsoever with the 100 black women and the 100 black men, would you please come and stand with me? Madam Speaker, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women and National 100 Black Men are outstanding nonprofit organizations of African American women and men, respectively. They address issues in their communities such as promoting equality, enhancing educational and economic opportunities. Virginia Harris and Milton Jones are respective presidents. We're the members of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women and Black Men. Please stand and help me recognize these outstanding public servants. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chair recognizes Representative Kendrick for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, we have a special guest in the gallery just in time for my tech demo day that's happening this Thursday. We have Mr. Richard Hicks of Inspire EDU. So if he is in the gallery, there he is. Thank you so much for joining us. So we've talked about him before, but he leads an organization that addresses the digital divide under the idea that technology can play a transformative role in education, particularly in the lives of low-income students and their families. And he has done tremendous work throughout the state of Georgia to make that happen, and we love to welcome him back under the Gold Dome for the second time this session. So thank you, Mr. Hicks, for all the work that you do for the state of Georgia with technology, and thank you to your team at Inspire EDU.
Chair recognizes Representative Reese for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have some fathers and some mothers here of Jack and Jill. If you'll join me at the podium right now as we recognize Jack and Jill Day here at the Capitol. Colleagues, if you walk out in the atrium and you see a sea of pink and blue, and young children from all around the state of Georgia, just know this is some of our best and brightest students right here in the state, and we are so honored to recognize them on this day here in the House of Representatives. If the members of Jack and Jill that are with us in the gallery, if you will, please stand and be recognized. Madam Speaker, I do see my former chapter president, Pam Watson, there in the gallery. Thank you so much for your presence. And we also have a page today who is a member of Jack and Jill. His name is Zion. So we have two, Zion and who else?
And Donovan.
And Donovan. So thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Martinez for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I want to celebrate African American Month. I stand here today to celebrate Black History Month. George Washington Carver, first inventor of the peanuts, my good friend Vince Williams, the mayor of Union City, and my great friend, Gwinnett County, Mr. Melvin Everson, which he is right to our right. Mr. Melvin. Mr. Melvin was a part of this body back in 2005, from 2005 to 2010. He was the first African American to be elected in the Snellville City Council, and he's currently serves as vice president for the economic development in Gwinnett College. He's also a 23-year veteran of the U.S. Army. Thank you so much, Melvin Everson, for being here, and thank you to your service to our community. I yield the well. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Carson for morning order.
Morning, everyone. Today is Kennesaw State University Day at the Capitol. Go Owls. Yes, you have a one-pager at your desk highlighting several updates from Kennesaw State. I think Scrappy the Owl is here somewhere, maybe not in the gallery. This year we're excited to be celebrating two anniversaries, the 60th anniversary of KSU and the 75th anniversary of Southern Polytech, consolidated back in 2015. KSU is one of the fastest growing universities in our state with fall enrollment of more than 45,000, making it the fifth consecutive year of growth. You can see that on the flyer here, including 138,000 alumni. Yours truly is one of them. KSU is, also has the largest population of in-state undergraduate students in the state. Very important to know. Kennesaw State is dedicated to meeting the needs of Georgia's workforce, including a new STEM building on the Marietta campus, as well, and Chairman Jones might be interested in this, a new master's degree in artificial intelligence. So please join me in recognizing Kennesaw State. Will you folks stand up? Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Chokas for morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today it's my honor to recognize Zoe Willis, who is a senior pre-med major at Georgia Southwestern State University. Zoe, please stand up. She was named the 2023 NCAA Division II National Softball Player of the Year. And to give you an idea of her season, she has a .447 batting average, 25 home runs, 67 RBIs, and she led the nation in home runs and home runs per game. She's a two-time Peach State Conference player and Player of the Year. She's from Pine Mountain, Georgia, and she aspires to be an orthopedic surgeon. Thank you, Zoe, for your great accomplishments. And Madam Speaker, I also have the honor of recognizing the Association of General Aviation Airports today. There are 95 general aviation airports in Georgia, and they're essential to the state's transportation and economic infrastructure. These local airports support the extensive aviation industry in our state, and they have an economic impact of over $2 billion in Georgia. Representing the Georgia airports is Hope Macaluso, Mitch Ellerby, and Amber McCall. Please stand up. Thank you for being here. Blue skies. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Hughley for morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You've already been told that today is the day where we honor Jack and Jillers here at our Capitol. And I have one who is paging for me today. Her name is Victoria Watson. And Victoria is the founder of Beautifully Hued LLC. And as a preteen, she founded this organization that is designed to promote diversity, inclusivity for young girls, and it helps young girls to love themselves. And so I want to recognize her this morning because for the last couple of years, she's been hosting a girls empowerment brunch. And she's at my page today, Victoria Watson. Y'all greet her, and her mother's in the gallery also. So Victoria, let us greet you this morning.
Chair recognizes Chairman Parrish for morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's my honor today to recognize a true friend of President Carter in the United States, the Right Honorable Sir Simon Burns, and I'd ask Simon to stand, who was a conservative member of the British Parliament from 1987 until his retirement in 2017. And while in Parliament, he served in government under Prime Ministers Margaret Thatcher, John Major, and David Cameron, and was twice Minister of Health and Minister of Transport. He's thrilled to be here with us, with our Georgia friends today. He loves the United States and has stood with us shoulder to shoulder during some of our darkest hours, including 9/11. We thank you, Sir Simon, for your friendship and the friendship between our countries. We're glad to have you here today, and please join me in welcoming Sir Simon.
The chair recognizes Representative Paris for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I want to recognize Amplify Georgia Collaborative and Spark Reproductive, Reproductive Justice Now. They're in the gallery here from Macon, Georgia. Just want to thank them for being here today, and thank you so much for the work that you do. Reproductive justice, as well as maternal mortality, we're on it. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Leader Beverly for a morning order.
Representative Mitchell, come on up, please. Representative Reese. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just want to recognize today the Georgia Coalition of Black Businesses. Georgia Coalition of Black Businesses. Today is Black Commerce Day. We want to welcome y'all to the People's House. Please stand, and if y'all give them a hand, we appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We are moving on to the rules calendar. The clerk will read the caption to House Bill 1240, the caption to 1240.
House Bill 1240 by Representative Reeves, the 99th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Title 11 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Commercial Code so as to update and modernize various statutes in the Commercial Code relating to commercial transactions. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Reeves to present the bill.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. House members, I present to you House Bill 1240, which is the update to the Georgia UCC, or the Georgia Commercial Code. The Georgia Commercial Code was last revised from start to finish in 2001. And if you think about the amount of financial technology and aspects of our economy in Georgia that have changed for the better since then, it is innumerable. The iPhone was invented in 2009. Today, a lot of people deposit checks solely online. There are a lot of payments that are made online, and there are a lot of economic transactions that need updating in the way of the law. In 2018, the American Law Institute Uniform Code revision process started. It took 4 years. In 2022, the current UCC was promulgated, and Georgia studied it from 2022 to this time. Specifically, the State Bar of Georgia's Business Law Committee, Uniform Code Commission working group studied it. This is a state bar bill. It is a lengthy bill. However, the current Georgia UCC is 970 pages. This bill merely updates and modernizes the Georgia UCC, and I present it to you for your favorable consideration. Thank you.
There are no questions.
I yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bill. The yeas were 163, the nays were 1. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, if you will please give your attention. We are honored today to welcome a U.S. Senator to our chamber. That doesn't happen that often. If you will join me in giving a warm welcome to Senator Ossoff, who has come to the Georgia House of Representatives.
Thank you so much. Good morning. What an honor to be here. I want to thank Speaker Burns, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, Majority Leader Efstration, Minority Leader Beverly, Caucus Chair Mitchell. Thank you all for the privilege of addressing you this morning. I recognize that you're in the midst of a busy legislative session, so I will keep brief my remarks. And here in the House, I'd first like to take a moment to honor the late Representative Richard Smith of Columbus, Rules Committee Chairman, who passed away last month. I know, Mr. Speaker, that he was a dear and personal friend of yours, a dedicated Georgian and public servant, and it's a heavy loss for this chamber. Over the weekend, I spoke with Augusta University President Brooks Keel and UGA President Moorhead to convey from my family, from my office, on behalf of the whole state, our shock and outrage at this appalling murder of Laken Riley in Athens. And in solidarity with her family and with the delegations from Athens and Augusta, as I'm sure you will several times throughout this day, I'd like to ask that we join in a moment of silence in recognition of the loss of this young woman, her life cut too short, and in support of her family and loved ones. Thank you. Now let me express to you what an honor it is to visit you here in this chamber, where legislation is debated by the people's representatives, who are empowered by free and fair elections to make the laws. And this process of representative government is essential to our freedom, the same freedom protected every day by the brave men and women in uniform who defend our republic. So I'd like to ask every military service member and veteran in the chamber please to stand and to be recognized and thanked by all of us for your service. My message for you this morning is that I'm here to work with and alongside you. Most of our constituents don't wake up every day defining themselves as Democrats or Republicans, and neither should we. And I think we all recognize that the hatred and division in our politics are tearing this country apart. Yes, we can have principled and passionate disagreements, but we're Georgians and Americans before we are Democrats and Republicans. And that's why I don't invest my time in controversy and notoriety, but in building the kinds of respectful bipartisan relationships in the Senate and the kinds of close working relationships with local elected leaders here in Georgia that empower me to get things done for our state. That is the approach I'll continue to take, whether assessing threats to our national security from my post on the Intelligence Committee or working with all of you and local business leaders to implement the bipartisan infrastructure law, which is the most significant investment in America's infrastructure since the Eisenhower administration. Or fighting alongside you to help Georgia's growers gain greater access to world markets for Georgia's agricultural products. It has been a pleasure to work alongside so many. I see Representative Robert Dickey here, Chairman of the House Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee. We have worked closely together to advance the interests of Georgia growers. I saw earlier Representative Yasmin Neal, with whom I continue working closely to advance the interests of tenants across the state of Georgia. Please know that there is nothing too small. If you don't yet have my cell phone number, I want you to call me. I want you to text me whenever my office and I can be of service to you. And I'd like to close just by taking a moment to urge all of us, as so much attention has been focused on the plight of the most vulnerable children here in Georgia and across the country in foster care systems, to unite at the federal and state level, and Democrats and Republicans, to pass the kind of meaningful reform that can protect these vulnerable young people from the kind of abuse and exploitation that they face, both here in Georgia and across the country. I hope we can work together to get that done. I remain committed to being absolutely accessible to you. My team and I are standing by to address your district's needs and to help you and your team succeed. Please call on me, and thank you so much for the honor and privilege of joining you in this chamber and addressing you this morning. Thank you very much.
Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 825. House Bill 825.
House Bill 825 by Representative Fleming of the 125th to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 23, Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to the judicial retirement system so as to require certain counties to comprise single county judicial circuits to supplement the retirement benefits paid to the Circuit Superior Court judges. This bill having referred to the Committee on Retirement. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Leverett to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present to you House Bill 825. This bill is not only a great bill, it's a source of some really good Georgia trivia. If anyone ever asked you what is the only single county circuit in Georgia where the county site is located in an unincorporated area of the county, and the county governing authority has constructed one or more permanent satellite courthouses within the county, you will now be able to, all of them with your trivia knowledge, that is Columbia County. That's the only county in the state this bill applies to. Apparently, this would have been a local bill several years ago, but the Legislative Council now contends that even a retirement bill that just impacts one county has to be passed as a general legislation. So we're amending a section in the code and by adding a paragraph here that applies a DA retirement for this one circuit based on, and it's a single county circuit, based on the supplement paid to that DA. So this has absolutely no impact on state coffers. It is not a bill that will apply to any other circuit in the state except for the Columbia County Judicial Circuit. The county endorses it, supports it, and has requested it, as has the DA, and I would encourage your favorable consideration of this bill.
You have a question. The chair recognizes Representative Clark for a question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
So right now, this only applies to Columbia County, but in the future, if a county did create satellite, because it's very specific, then they would be swooped into this as well, correct?
Well, almost. They would have to, first of all, have an unincorporated county site. I'm not aware of any other county except for Columbia County that has that, and they would have to build satellite courthouses within the county.
Thank you.
So I don't think it really is likely or feasible that it would ever apply to any county other than Columbia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Carson for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to ask a question. Is it not true that in addition to not affecting any other county but Columbia County, is it not true this does not have any cost to the state of Georgia at all? Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
I want to thank you for bringing this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for hearing it.
There are no more questions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask your favorable consideration of House Bill 825. Thank you.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. For what purpose? Lady is waived. Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bill. The yeas were 160, the nays were 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 1113. 1113.
House Resolution 1113 by Representative Donahue the 31st and others, a resolution authorizing the granting of non-exclusive easements for the construction, installation, operation, and maintenance of facilities, utilities, roads, and ingresses and egresses in, on, over, and under through property owned by the state of Georgia. This resolution having been referred to the Committee on State Properties, that committee recommends that this resolution be adopted by committee substitute.
The bill is on the supplemental calendar, and the chair recognizes Representative Donahue to present the resolution.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I bring before you H.R. 1113. Every year, our annual synopsis comes together on easement rights. And as the state, we have to pass easement rights to Georgia Power, EMCs, Pike Electric, Atlanta Gas Light, different utilities that will take an easement across a piece of state property. Most of those fees run around $10, and it's just basically the right to cross the property. We have 13, but I would like to tell you just one little thing we have done. We pretty much had the opportunity to pass back about 12 years ago a bill that every representative and every senator will know if it's in your district, an easement or a conveyance that will be brought to you later. Basically, we had 13 counties. The resolutions authorized the state acting through State Properties Commission to grant easement over certain state-owned properties. And with that, everyone has agreed to this advancement on the property. We did have a couple adjustments earlier. So basically that's what it does, and I hope to have your favorable vote of a positive, beautiful green yes.
There are no questions.
Thank you.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the adoption of the resolution, the yeas were 165, the nays were 0. The resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Adopted. Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 1116. House Resolution 1116.
House Resolution 1116 by Representative Perkle, 169th and others, authorizing the lease of certain state-owned property located in Chatham County. This resolution having been referred to the Committee on State Properties, that committee recommends that this resolution be adopted by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Perkle to present the resolution.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I was getting ready and putting on my work breeches today, I just want to make sure everybody was listening. So this is the annual conveyance bill, similar to what Representative Donahue just mentioned about the easement bill, but this is the annual conveyance bill. There are only 6 counties impacted in this. All the representatives have been informed, and all are in favor. So thank you for your green support, and that's all I have, Madam Speaker.
Unsurprisingly, there are no questions. The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the adoption of the resolution, the yeas were 166, the nays were 0. The resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. Clerk will read the caption, House Bill 827. House Bill 827.
House Bill 827 by Representative Smith of the 18th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 16.820 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to livestock theft so as to provide for increased penalties and to provide for related matters. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes the newly married Representative Smith to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. You're very kind. Today, members, I bring to you House Bill 827, and just to let y'all know what this would do, this would enhance the penalties for theft of livestock in the state of Georgia. These enhanced penalties will help producers of livestock and animal products from theft of their very livelihood. So what I will let everyone know is this. Since 2019, you have seen the price of all of your cattle. That includes not only cows, hogs, chickens, guinea, if some of y'all still eat that here in the state. I know my great-grandmother did, but anyhow, this bill would help us to make sure that those who are subject to theft of livestock, that we can lock these folks up and that the penalties would reflect. You're looking at a price of cattle anywhere from a good cow-calf pair, you're looking at right around $1,800, Black Angus at least. Bulls going for much more than that, but let me explain to you with small farms versus large farms. This cost to a small farm, you're looking at supplemental income for many folks, especially north of I-20. This is a huge detriment. You're talking about people going without when they have their cattle stolen. I also want to mark out or make sure that I point your attention. We added a section to the bill in committee request from the Department of Agriculture to actually allow the Department of Agriculture, if there's an agricultural nexus and some kind of crime, that they would have the authority to enforce that. We've actually got some ongoing cattle rustling investigations going on. It's not just limited to cattle rustling, but this would give them the requisite authority to clear up the code section to make sure that they can protect our livestock as well as our agricultural products here in the state of Georgia. So, Madam Speaker Pro Tem, that is the bill, and I'll stand for any questions.
You have a couple questions. The chair recognizes Representative Donahue for a question. To your left.
Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Is it true no one has come on my farm and stole any of my honeybees?
You know, I would believe that to be true, and that if they had, they'd have been in for a warm welcome.
That's right.
Chair recognizes Representative Clark to your left for a question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do for a question.
So in this bill, I noticed that the fine goes from being $1,000 to $10,000. That's a 1,000% increase. Is there a reason why the increase is such a large amount?
That's a deterrent effect. I will point the gentlelady to historically they would hang you for these sort of offenses if you stole livestock. So I know it seems like it's very, very steep increases, but I will remind the gentlelady that used to, they would hang you for these sort of offenses. This is also to reflect the increased cost, like I'd mentioned earlier, that the fine needs to at least match a little bit more than what the cost of livestock would be. Because if you, let's say that you went and you stole a whole herd, you're well over that $10,000 amount.
Yeah. Does the gentleman further yield?
One more question.
So if you stole a whole herd, yes, that would make sense. But what if you just stole one? And I don't condone stealing anything, but if you just stole one cow, would that be the equivalent of increasing this fine by so much? It just seems like a very big jump, so I'm just trying to understand the justification.
Sure. And I appreciate my informed colleague in your question. I would say this. It does come down a lot of times to the deterrent effect
I think the fine is a lot more civilized than going back to hanging folks for this offense.
Well, I can definitely agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, Madam Speaker, I appreciate the good questions, and I would yield this well and ask this body's favorable consideration.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. There appears to be parliamentary questions standing between one bill, another bill, and lunch and us, and they have waived. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bill. The yeas were 156, the nays were 12. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 1165. House Bill 1165.
House Bill 1165 by Representative Maynard, the 56th, and others being entitled an act to amend Code Section 35, 6A, 3 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to membership vacancies and membership not barred to holding public office, so as to replace the chairperson of the Governor's Office of Children and Families with the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Maynard to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Colleagues, this is a bill that is from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. It will allow $7.4 million of funds to be awarded to the CJCC. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022 was signed into law to reduce gun violence, save lives, keep guns out of dangerous hands. This historical act invests in anti-violence programs that work directly with the people who are most likely to commit these crimes. What will the $7.4 million be used for? Communication, education, public awareness, fighting mental health problems, behavioral health, and also it will serve community-based violence intervention prevention programs. The funding requires CJCC to form a crisis intervention advisory board to form and guide Georgia's gun violence reduction programs. The composition of the board must include representatives from law enforcement, the community courts, prosecution, behavioral health providers, victim services, and legal counsel. The membership of CJCC currently has everyone they need for this advisory board except for someone that is a behavioral health provider. This bill simply replaces the Governor's Office for Children and Families chairperson with the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities on this Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. And it is a straightforward bill. In order for CJCC to get the $7.4 million, we must change the composition of the board because the Governor's Office for Children and Family Services no longer exists, so we're replacing it with DBDHDD. And I'll yield the will.
There are no questions, and the lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 167, the nays were 1. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The chair will recognize a limited number of announcements. The chair recognizes Representative Clark for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This announcement is for members of GLBC. Just to remind you that tomorrow is African Attire Day. So I hope you packed your African attire. For those who have to pack to come here, and for those who live here locally, let's make this place nice and beautiful and colorful tomorrow. Tomorrow is African Attire Day. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Leader of Stration for an announcement.
There will be a committee chairman's lunch upon the break in room 403 of the Capitol.
Chair recognizes Chairman Williamson for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to get all the majority caucus, get it on your radar. We will have a caucus lunch tomorrow, so just get it on your calendar. There will be a majority caucus lunch tomorrow.
Chair recognizes Representative Mathis for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are going to have fellowship time in the morning at 7 o'clock in the Capitol 132. Please be there. That's our fellowship in the morning.
Chair recognizes Representative Tran. I do not see him down front. Is he for an announcement?
The CAB delegation is meeting in room 514 upon recess, and lunch is provided. Again, the CAB delegation is meeting in room 514. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So the House will stand in recess for 1 hour. Please be back at 1 o'clock sharp. All committees meetings that are scheduled will all be delayed by 1 hour from the time that you were given. So if it was a 2 o'clock meeting, it'll be 3 o'clock. And with that, we will stand in recess.